Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to dive deeper into some really important Java concepts: compound assignment operators, API and libraries, documentation with comments, and method signatures. These topics will help you write cleaner, smarter, and more organized code. Let's get started. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use compound operators like plus equal to and minus equal to, how to use Java's built-in APIs and libraries, like the math class, how to make your code easier to understand using comments, and finally, how to understand and identify method signatures, which is key for writing and calling methods correctly. Let's start with compound assignment operators. These are basically shorthand operators that let you update a variable in a single, cleaner line of code. Instead of writing x equals x plus 3, like you see here, you can write x plus equals 3. It's the same result, but fewer keystrokes and more readable code. The same way you can do plus equals, minus equals, times equals, divided by equals, and modulus equals. Next, let's talk about APIs and libraries. API stands for Application Programming Interface. In Java, the API is basically a collection of ready-to-use classes and methods, so you don't have to reinvent it every single time. So for example, instead of writing your own square root function, you can use the built-in math class from the Java API. And if you want user input, like we saw in the last video, you can use the scanner class. The documentation for this is available online at Oracle's official Java docs. The link is here. So here's an example using the math class. Let's go line by line again. So over here, we are calling the square root method from the math class, which returns the square root of 16, which is 4.0. So the math.sqrt is basically the method, the square root method we're calling, and then we're assigning that to be a double, which is why it's 4.0 and not just 4. Then over here, we use math.max to find the larger of the two numbers between 10 and 20, so it returns 20. And math.pow calculates powers, so 2 to the power of 3 is 8.0. The math class saves us a lot of work, and there are hundreds of other classes in Java's API for strings, collections, and so much more. Now let's talk about comments. Comments are notes you write in your code to explain what's happening. They don't affect the program, but they make it easier for someone else to understand later, especially when they're reading your code, or even when you in the future is reading your own code. So there are three main types of comments. Single line comments start with 2 slashes. Multi-line comments are between a slash star and a star slash. And Java doc comments are between slash star star and star slash. And they're used for generating professional documentation. Here's an example showing all three types of comments. So as you see here in the beginning, this is a Java doc comment. It describes the purpose of a class or method and is often used for documentation tools. Here you see a single line comment, quick and simple. Now if we wanted to do a multi-line comment, we would essentially take out this asterisk and take out the asterisk here. We would just want a star, a slash, star, and a star slash, and that would be a multi-line comment. So the only difference between JavaDoc is the extra asterisks or the extra stars. So good comments really just make your code easier to read and maintain. Finally, let's talk about method signatures. A method signature includes the method name, the parameter list, and the return type. So for example, public int add int a, comma int b tells us that it's public, it returns an integer, the method name is add, and it takes 2 integer parameters. So here's an example. Notice something interesting. We have 2 methods with the same name, public int add and public double add. So in the first one here, we see that this version adds 2 integers. The parameters are integer a and integer b, and we're just returning the sum of both of them. And the second version instead adds 2 doubles. Same name, but different parameter types, which is called method overloading. Here's a quick challenge for you. Write a method named multiply that takes two integers and returns their product. Bonus points if you use a compound assignment operator inside. Let's take a look at the solution for our practice challenge. Our goal was to write a method called multiply that takes two integers and returns their product using a compound assignment operator. First, we start with initializing integer result to 0. So this creates a variable called result that will hold the product. We initialize it to 0 because we're going to have to add a repeatedly. Next, we have a for loop. Let's see what's happening line by line. So first, this part. This loop runs exactly b times. By doing result plus equals a, this is the compound assignment operator. It's essentially the same as writing result is equal to result plus a. So if a is equal to 4 and b is equal to 5, we add 4 5 times, which equals 20, which is our product. Finally, we return the result. And in the main method, we call our multiply method with num1 equal to 4 and num2 equal to 5. That should hopefully print 20. Now let's run it. Okay, awesome, it worked. So, in summary, we used a loop to repeat addition, we used a compound assignment operator to make the code shorter and cleaner, and our method works for any two positive integers. Let's try 10 and 6 now. Hopefully that's 60. Okay, awesome. So I hope you got this example right, and make sure to keep coding and trying different examples you see online by yourself. To wrap up, compound assignment operators help you write shorter code. Java's API gives you tons of built-in tools. Comments make your code readable, and method signatures define how methods are called and overloaded. These are essential tools for writing clean, professional Java programs. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for more CSA information. Thank you.